What's up, you guys? My name is Wolfie, and I'll be telling another story I told you I'd tell about these past 2 years of what's been going on. I had it in my head which one I was going to tell. Obviously, from the title, you know which one, but oh, my brain. I guess I'll talk about my transplant. Sorry, I yawned. I'm not crying or nothing. I ain't no bitch baby. So my dogs are playing again. He's a loud ass. So with the transplant, like I said in the first video, I think of me coming back, I think it was. I got a call. Family member had he just barked and I almost sneezed. A kidney for me, right? So I did that. It was a unique experience to say the least. Turned out that when you get a transplant, I don't know if it's of any kind, pancreas, heart, lungs. I just know for kidney. That's the one that I researched a lot because it had to do with me. So when you get a kidney transplant, there's like factors, and you can get a 6 out of 6, but the only way to get 6 out of 6 is if you have like a twin, right? And with this family member, I had 5 out of 6 factors. So like literally the best you can get, unless you're a twin or came from the same womb or something like that. But like the antigens matched, certain cells did, blood type did, and when they test you, and like when I got on the registry list or however it's called, they took like 30 some vials of blood. I mean, each vial is, from yay to like yay, but they took like 32 of them. I mean, they just kept taking blood out and they just kept going. And I have good veins and everything, but it was just getting, it didn't hurt, it was just getting annoying, I guess, a little bit. So we had the transplant down where I got put on the list originally, which is where my brother used to live. I don't think he's going to be living there anymore. He doesn't right now. But, so we went there, and we stayed with him while they were setting it all up, and then while we were recovering. And what they did, the doctor that did it, the surgeon, was like super helpful, super cool guy, and he explained everything to us. Everything. He explained exactly what he was going to do. And I have a scar. I don't know if I want to show it right now or not. But it's cut from my lower abdomen, crotch area up to like, I'd say up to my belly button. But it's off to the side. And I don't know how long. It's at least like an 8 to 9 inch cut. And so he was like, I'm going to cut you open. And they pull back the skin, tissue, and muscle, I think he said. And then they take the donor's kidney. They put it there. So I have a kidney in basically my stomach. Like this part of my stomach doesn't pooch out, so to speak, but this one you can see like a bulge, and that's literally the kidney. I can't do contact sports. If I fall, I need to tell them and get checked out. If I get hit there, I need to get like checked out. Everything like that. It's like I have to be very cautious with this area. Rightfully so. I mean, I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose the kidney. But so he said he pulled all that back, and he did. And then you put the kidney there, and he'll take, I don't know if he took a line from my bladder to a previous kidney, or they made one, and then they attach it to the new kidney. And my dog's going nuts with that toy. And they attach it to the new kidney, right? The bladder to the new kidney. And then they put a stent in, which is just like, a small line, I guess, very thin line, and it's put from the bladder to the kidney to make sure that when it's recovering, the line doesn't close up. But if it's put in for too long, it can cause infection. So 6 weeks after my surgery, I also needed to get it pulled out. Unfortunately, the way they pull it out is not preferable. And I was awake. They don't put you under for it. And with some people, they can just, it's like starts coming out by itself and nurses just yank it out. You can picture what or where I'm talking about. If you can't figure it out, you can Google it. It's not a pleasant experience. So that was 6 weeks after. And, I had staples and everything, and the recovery was, it wasn't hard, really, because it was only like 2, maybe 3 days after I had the surgery that they were like, okay, we're gonna try to make you walk. I also had a catheter in, which wasn't fun. And the stuff they used to put me under kind of constipated me. So it took a while to get normal doo-doos going. That was probably the worst part. I'm a fan of doo-dooing, and it was painful to start it up again. But as soon as they were like, okay, you can get up and walk, because as soon as the surgery ended, I have a thing with coming out of surgeries and stuff on my face. And usually there's just the lines in your nose. They hook around your ears, just give you a little extra oxygen. Every time after a surgery, I'll pull it off, and the nurse says, no, keep that in. This one was, a mask, right? And as soon as I woke up, I started clawing at it, grabbing it, I was ripping it off, and the nurses were like, no, put it back on. It's all I remember being in, it's sort of like an ICU of after major surgeries like that. And they keep you, I think it's like 4 hours. And then everything was fine. They sent me upstairs. But that's what I remember from being down there. I didn't open my eyes once. I don't remember seeing anybody. I just remember feeling it and feeling like I can't breathe. Something's on your face. You feel like you can't breathe, even though it's giving me oxygen. It's just how I've always been with stuff on my face after being under. And, the second they said, you can try to walk, I was like, all right, let's go. And they were like, you sure? I was like, help me up, let's go. Help me up, or I'm going to do it myself. Somebody help me up, come on. And when I was walking, so when I was walking, it was like, holding my thing, just kind of, like it was little hobbles. It wasn't much of walking, per se. And it hurt. It did. I didn't let anybody know, because I knew if I told them this kind of hurts, they'd be like, you need to go back and lie down. But I recover fast, and I wanted to recover fast. And I was excited to get up and, have all this new energy in me from a kidney, from a working organ that I need. And, I walked around and, down one hallway, and they're like, okay, we should probably go back to the room. I was like, no, this hallway now. Let's go. Just hobbling down it. And it was nice. It was nice hobbling around. Unfortunately, the day I was supposed to be released from the hospital, and it's sooner than most people, I was going to be released in 5 days because I was recovering so well. The day I was supposed to leave, my blood pressure spiked, which is a problem if you have a transplant. It's a really bad problem. But the problem, it spiked because they gave me too much medication. I was on so much blood pressure medication that it faulted it the wrong way. I had to be in ICU for 2 or 3 days, and then I got to go home. But they had me on so much after that, blood pressure medication, that I couldn't stand up without getting dizzy and almost passing out. And the doctors a lot of doctors, when they first meet me, they don't like listening to me. But I've been through the ringer. I know how my body works, right? So I told them, I don't need to be on this many medications. They didn't listen. I took myself off of them. Not in any drastic way, not in anything if you have the same problem, don't just do it, right? Because I've done it before with doctors who know me. But what I did is I would take one medication that I thought was the biggest problem, right? And I would cut it back a little bit. I would do that for about a month or two, and then I would keep weaning myself off. And then when everything was still fine, checking my levels on my own at home, I proved to them that I was right. And then they would listen to me, and now we've got me on a good schedule. But this is, 2 years later almost. Wait, wait. No, it's like a year and a half. I don't know. October 3rd was when I had the transplant. But it took them a while just to get it right. And now that we've got it right, and my visits are good. My visits are like every 4 months or 6 months or something like that. It's doing a lot better. Yeah, it'd be 2 years because YouTube was like 3 years that I've stopped almost. But that's the transplant. I mean, then my visits were taking the staples out, and I had this hole in me with a little tube coming out, and what it looked like a little clear grenade, and that's what they like to call it. And it was filled with blood. You'd have to unhook it, dump the blood out, hook it back, squeeze it, and let it go, and it would suction any extra blood, from the surgery around the kidney, so it wouldn't get like bloated or covered in blood or anything like that. You won't shut up barking. Brody. And they got that taken out. That was like the first week. I don't think he was supposed to take it out. And he was like, "You doing good? All right, good. Let's get this taken out." He snipped up the stitches, holding it in. Was like, "You ready?" He grabbed it and... Oh my God, if I don't tell you, that was one of the weirdest feelings. Getting the port taken out of my neck was like a feeling. And the port in my chest was like a feeling. Because they pull it. And for the port one, it's coming from like here. It was like this long. It was... The neck one went like down into here, was like this long. This thingy in my stomach was just in there kind of coiled. So when he grabbed it, it did this. So it was like, and then he got it out. And they just put pressure on it. It was like it's just weird with all these experiences, right? But I'm trying to think of any more like memorable experiences with the transplant itself. I can't really think of any. It was just, and then of course the lady came in at one point after my surgery and was like, "Hey, here's a booklet of things you can't do anymore. You can't eat deli meats. I'm part Italian. Deli meats are literally coursing through my veins right now, so that's hard for me. You can't eat cold pizza because the thought process is that bacterium will grow on it, right? Anything cooked under 165 I can't have." That much, I guess, makes sense. No cold like meats and things because bacteria can grow on it. But deli meats, I love deli meats. I love cold cuts. I just spit on my desk. It kills me still that I can't have that. It's so good and I want it. And then there's just a bunch of other stuff like I can't do the cat box. We have cats, right? I can't do that because poop and pee, dirty stuff like that. What else? There were a lot of things she said. Oh, the one that really sucks for me, which I've debunked because I researched into it, where she was like, "Oh, you can't get tattoos," which isn't true. You just can't get in like a back alley. It's basically make sure the guy changes he cleans the needle, and if they change it, I don't know a lot about tattoos. If they change it, and he cleans everything after the person. He doesn't just bare minimum clean it. He's like, "Oh, let's go." He does it as if it's the first time he's tattooing somebody, if that makes sense. It's like that sterile. Which I'm guessing are normal tattoo parlors. They have to be clean. You can't stick a needle in somebody. You just stuck in somebody. You have to clean it off and shit. And then when I have a child at some point, I can't be around them when they get their vaccines. Because I get so many at once, and I have such a low immune system from the medicine that I take, that I could get infected, in trouble, something like that. From them, I could get it, right? and then I could also put them back in danger because I would get a more developed version of it, and while they just get the vaccine and they're fighting the vaccine, mine would overtake it, pull together. It would just be a mess, right? Which sucks. Like, I don't want to be away from my kid when I have a kid if they just got stuck with a vaccine, but you know, I'll have to do what I got to do when the time comes, when things present themselves, and I have been. What else was there? I mean, there's not much else that I learned with it. I can't think of many other stories. I have my hemodialysis story, which I haven't done yet, but that might be the only one. I can't think of many off the top of my head. And again, I have not edited a video or tried to upload one, so I don't know how to end this. Oh, I need to plan these out better. But, yeah, give me more questions about this. Hopefully I know the answers about transplants and stuff, you know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll just see how we go about it. But yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. Bye-bye. I don't think that's how I did it either. We're gonna have to figure something else out.